Have you got a little extra time with your preschoolers at home right now? Let me show you how to teach them basic kitchen skills. Doug here's gonna demonstrate our preschool kitchen skills. Actually, he's a little big. Might be better if we had a smaller version. Better! First thing on the list is stirring. Even the littlest kids naturally stir, so there's not a lot of teaching to do, but there is some practice to keep them from making a mess. Homemade chocolate milk is a nice treat to help practice stirring as they get the hang of it. Second skill is scooping. Give them a bowl and spoon with some food in it and have them scoop and transfer from one container to another. Be sure to use something that's safe. Little kids will surprise you. Some of your dry goods from the pantry like rice or beans usually work well. Once they master scooping, they can make their own yogurt parfait. Our third task is pouring. Precision pouring is a skill that develops between ages 2 and 5, so you can't rush it, but there's no harm in practicing. What I like to do is put 2 identical containers on a tray and have them practice pouring back and forth. You want to make sure the containers aren't too heavy, otherwise you'll have a mess on your hands, and counter, and floor. The tray also helps contain the mess. Like scooping, you should start with dry goods before trying liquids. Prepare yourself for patience when the liquids come out. Teach them to hold the receiving container steady while they pour, and have them focus on getting all of it from one cup to the other. A simple pouring activity that kids love is making popsicles together. The fourth skill to work on is measuring. The skill itself isn't that difficult, but to master it, they'll need to recognize numbers. Have them measure liquids by setting the cup on a flat surface and getting their eyes level with the lines to check their measurements. If they can't read numbers yet, you can just point to the right line. For spoons and cups, they should learn to make a mound and bulldoze off the excess with the back side of a butter knife or some other straight, blunt tool. Once they can read numbers, they can learn to measure the right way with a scale. You use a scale, right? Measuring, pouring, and stirring all come together nicely when making fresh lemonade or homemade Play-Doh. Now we're getting to the big skills. Number 5 is spreading. If you're handing your 3-year-old a knife, even a butter knife, they need to know that it's not a toy. Stop! Do it properly. Start with spreading onto something firm enough not to tear. I like to use crackers for this because if they break the cracker, they know they're pressing too hard. They'll want to use the tip of the knife to dig in, so teach them to glide the loaded knife over the surface. Remind them that the knife should be mostly parallel to the cracker. Once they've mastered the cracker, they can move on to buttering toast or a bagel since they have a little more structure than plain bread. When they're ready for fresh bread, have them think of petting a little kitten. I'd even have them pet the bread like a kitten. Of course, if you have a kitten, you may want to use a different animal analogy, unless you want a peanut butter kitten. Once they can do this, they can make their own sandwiches.
This is it, the big time. I'm talking peanut butter, apple butter, jelly, mayo, mustard, soft cheeses, it's all here. And they'll do it on their own. I don't have to do it.
Moving up the skill chain to number 6 is cutting with a butter knife. Kids and adults of all ages will be tempted to put their finger on top of the blade. Don't let them do that, and you shouldn't do it either. The best practice here is to cut sandwiches. Don't saw. Teach them to keep all their fingers tucked around the handle and hold one side of the sandwich with their fingers out of the way of the cutting path. Start at the top edge of the bread, rock the knife down and away and through the crust. Pull it back and repeat that motion all the way through the bread. Like spreading, this one may take a lot of practice. Don't give up. They can use this skill on sandwiches and other soft foods like bananas and butter. The hardest skill on our list at number 7 is cracking eggs. Show them how to tap the egg a couple of times on the flat surface of the counter. Some people make the mistake of using the edge of the counter or bowl to crack the egg, but that can push shell inside your egg and into your food, so a flat surface is best. The challenge for little ones will be tapping the egg hard enough to crack it, but not so hard they splatter egg everywhere. Little hands sometimes just aren't strong enough to peel open the egg, so it's okay at first if they crack it and you open it. When they're ready, teach them to push 2 thumbs into the cracks and pull it open over a small bowl. This should always be a separate bowl from the one you're mixing in. Don't be surprised if they crush the egg entirely at first or get ooged out with the goo on their hands. If they get a little shell in the bowl, have them wet their finger with water to reach in and pull it out. If they do drop an egg, sprinkle half a cup of salt to fully cover the mess, and it'll wipe up easily. And then tell your friends about your egg story and leave a comment below so we can all enjoy. Once they make it this far, they're ready to help you with breakfast and baking delicious treats. Last but not least, number 8 is cleaning up. If your little ones are going to be of any help in the kitchen, they need to clean up after themselves. They can put some dishes in the dishwasher, sweep up crumbs on the floor with a dustpan, and wipe up spills on the counter. Be sure to teach them your system for wiping up. You don't want to find your dishwashing sponge cleaning the floor or dry your clean hands on a towel crusted with peanut butter. This goes for kids and spouses. I'm not gonna lie, teaching these won't make your life easier at first. There will be messes and their help will make things take longer. But once they can master these, you're within sight of the Holy Grail. Waking up and your kids have made breakfast themselves with no mess. A little work now will have big rewards later.